Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel and blog. This is Jenny Hall. Thanks for joining me for another card making video tutorial. Today I am working on a project that is going to have two different stamp sets. I am using images from Painter's Palette by Stampin Up, and I'll stamp this image directly to a piece of white cardstock, and then I'll be using something from Sheltering Tree, which is a nice image of a tree, and then it has accessories for the tree, and we'll see how that all comes together. My card base is made out of Sahara sand cardstock, and the reason I'm choosing all neutral colors of cardstock is that I want everything on the card to be very angular, singular, and neutral, and then in the middle of this artist easel is the image of a painting with a fall scene, and that's where the color is going to come from. That's where I want the eye to be drawn to, and that's the action spot on the card. To get the canvas portion of the whole card, the little square, I'm using one of the layering squares from Stampin' Up. Those dies, you guys, if you watch my videos regularly, you see me using these squares all the time, and I love them. They're great. It saves me a lot of time to just be able to have something that fits perfectly into the spot that I need it. This is chocolate chip ink that I am using on the image of the tree from Sheltering Tree. So I'm kind of making it off center a little bit because I don't want to show just the image of the tree. I really want to focus on the image of a scene, of a fall harvest style scene. So I will be also stamping a rake, and then we'll scatter some leaves down at the bottom and across the tree. And this stamp set allows me to do that because it has a little cluster of leaves that I can use, but I also didn't want it to look as organized. So I chose to use my Stampin' Write markers to do this because I wanted to, number one, I wanted to pull from a bunch of different color families, and number two, I didn't want the leaves to be as organized as they could be if they were random. Everything in nature looks very unorganized and random whenever you do a close-up. So I just wanted to keep this because the rest of the card is very organized and angular, I wanted to keep this portion of the card just the opposite. That's the artistic part right there. So I am using these markers to put the color directly onto the stamp. That's a nice way to be able to get a stamp with many different colors instead of having to try to position it on 5 different stamp pads and making a big mess. Then I'll pull out the markers and I will use the markers because it's exactly the same ink. The ink that Stampin' Up uses is dye ink, and it's exactly the same ink in the markers as it is on the stamp pads, which is easy for me because I have everything that matches. It's the same medium, it's the same chemical composition. So it all reacts to the paper and to like a fluid like water. It all reacts exactly the same. So I've got a scattering of leaves, and I've kind of made them randomly and small, and then I stamped this image close to the tree because the pieces are more, they're larger, and it's gonna kind of, it'll frame the tree trunk a little bit. So I'm attaching all of these layers with snail adhesive, and I've cut the black cardstock. The way that I came about the size of this is there was really no formula. Usually I'll cut down from the card base a little, like 1/8 of an inch for each layer, but this one I just wanted to get the white piece to be the right size for the stamp. So once I got the white piece cut, then I went out for 1/8 of an inch on the black piece. So I wanted to have a thin frame for the white that would emulate the easel and the frame that is going to be featured as the stamp image. So if that makes any sense. I did it the opposite way than I usually do. I am using the outside edges of the Stampin' Dimensionals because this is a small little piece that is going to be attached to the card. And there's lots of occasions when I need to use a full-size dimensional, but it's those little corner sides that someone called them Stampin' Bones, which is such a cute little word. But this is a perfect opportunity for me to use those and not be stuck with them at the end of using a sheet of dimensionals. So there's the sentiment, and it has its little scripty handwriting look, and I like how that is in contrast to the rest of the card. Here I am attaching the sequins, and I normally don't show this part in my videos, and you'll kind of see why I don't feature attaching the sequins, because it's really like a painful process for me. I take the sequins and I place them around. They're not the easiest little things to hold on to, even with a pair of tweezers. And so I scooch them around and I kind of wrestle and battle with them. And the sequins have a tendency to kind of stick together. I guess the way they're cut, they cut it in sheets and they layer the sheets up. And I want to have the sequin look the way it's intended instead of stacked up and like more dimension to it. So you see me wrestling here with sequins. So this is just about how the card ends up, and it's a simple card, a little bit more of an artistic look. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today and that it might inspire you in your card making. I thank you all again for subscribing to my channel, and I would appreciate if you would like this video. For more card making inspiration, go over to my blog at jennystampsup.com. I'll see you in the next video.